Many of my clients cannot afford bail. An arrest for even a minor charge can set them back years. Imagine that you don't have a permanent residence, you're couch surfing, and you get arrested. Your personal belongings, including your ID, your birth certificate, are in your car. Your car is impounded, and when you get out of jail, let's say 5 days later, you have racked up hundreds of dollars in fees because of the impounded vehicle. Likely, you will not be able to get your car out of the impound. And worst of all, you would have lost your job. Maybe you're 17 and you get into it with your 19-year-old brother. You both live at home with your parents, but after your arrest and your release on bond, you can't return home. Now you have a bond condition that says you can't be within 200 yards of your brother. You can't return home to get your stuff, and you can't make it right with your brother. After years of helping people navigate through this system, I know that so many families, so many individuals caught in the system don't really understand how it works. This series will give the information that our community needs to better understand this process. Hi, my name is Donna Keith, and I'm a native Austinite. I practiced indigent criminal defense in Central Texas for over 15 years. I say indigent criminal defense instead of criminal defense because most of my clients are court appointed based on their limited resources. Even clients who have retained me, meaning they have paid me directly, are working class and paycheck to paycheck and would also qualify for court-appointed counsel. I've defended individuals in cases ranging from shoplifting to aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. These situations take an emotional toll, not just going to jail, but the psychological aftermath. The client's family, the victim, or the complaining witness, so often they don't understand the process. They don't know we have to wait for indictment. They don't know that I can't give them a copy of the police report or share the patrol car video with them. No matter how many times the client's been through the process, I still have to spend a lot of time explaining how it really works. The uncertainty is the worst part. Clients and family members expect me to say, this is when you're going to trial, or this is when you're going to get out of jail. And when I can't say that, the uncertainty really takes a toll. These times, things are even harder. The governor's order prohibits anyone with a violent charge from getting a personal bond. That means that fight that you had with your brother is keeping you from getting out of jail unless your family can afford to post bond for you. As court-appointed counsel, I feel even more pressure to quickly investigate your case and get you out of jail. But cutting corners could mean that you have a conviction for a violent offense when you may have a legitimate defense or mitigating circumstances. Travis County has been ahead of the curve in some areas, like refusing to prosecute trace amounts of drugs. And by trace amount, I mean the grit left in the baggie. Refusing to prosecute those cases and reducing state jail cases to misdemeanors or county time. But far too often, those efforts do not result in better outcomes for poor, Black, and brown individuals because they can't get out on bond. If you cannot pay to get out of jail on a bond, the resolution in your case is likely to be worse than someone who actually could pay for a bond. My clients are mostly Black and brown, and they're overrepresented in the system because officers racially profile and prosecutors back them up. There's a couple of exceptions that I've experienced recently. For instance, once an officer was profiling 4 Black men leaving Gibbons Park, and he wrote his report in such a manner to misrepresent the probable cause for the stop, the reason for the arrest. He misrepresented all of that. Well, I looked at the video and I could tell it was an illegal stop. I asked the prosecutor to watch the video. She did. She watched it and she agreed the charges should be dismissed. That, however, is the exception. Usually, when an officer puts it in black and white on a piece of paper, the prosecutor's going to back them up. Bond is not a privilege. It is a right. However, it is meaningless. If you are poor and you have to pay to get out of jail, the right to bond means nothing. I applaud judges in Travis County and in Hayes County, where I work, for trying to do better, for creating less restrictive personal bond processes. But we have to do more and we have to do better. My clients often tell me I'm losing everything while I'm sitting in here. After an extended stay in the county jail, they are starting over. That means they need an ID, they need a job, they need a home, their car is gone. If when you were arrested you had your own place, well, guess what? While you were in jail, you weren't paying rent. That means your landlord took all of your stuff and put it on the curb. You don't even have an ID. There's an alternative to this, right? If people are out on bond, they're able to maintain their stability. I cannot overemphasize the importance of personal bond. If you're out on bond, it affects the resolution of your case. It affects the services that you can get while you're on bond, while your case is pending. Cash bail is intended to secure your return to court, but no amount of money can do that if you have the inclination to run. Cash bail offers little incentive to ensure that you return to court. It provides little protection for the community, and it's still often preferred to personal bond because personal bond is considered a privilege that certain people are not worthy of. Personal bonds are often the best alternative because personal bonds include conditions like mental health services, anger management classes that really address the underlying cause of the problem. In most cases, judges have discretion to grant personal bond in even the most serious cases. Instead, they infuse cultural and racial bias into setting high bonds and denying personal bond. Personal bond is the only option for poor people, and the jail is full of poor people. A person pays a stiff penalty if they're required to sit in jail over a year waiting for trial. Yes, you're entitled to a speedy trial, but in reality, it takes many, many months to prepare for trial. The system is set up that way. Many people faced with this protracted wait decide to plead guilty instead of waiting for their day in court. During the pandemic, the wait is even longer because courts have been ordered to postpone all jury trials. COVID-19 is a real issue in the jail. The sheriff is placing newly arrested individuals in a 14-day solitary confinement. In reality, none of us is safer when individuals remain in the jail during this pandemic. Judges statewide are releasing individuals on personal bond who would not have been granted a personal bond prior to the pandemic. The population of jails statewide is dramatically reduced. Question: why can't we do this all the time? Today, I'm asking you to assist a man who's been in Travis County Jail since October. His judge denied personal bond, and even though he has the love and support of his family, they cannot afford to help. His decision to plead guilty under these circumstances is a living example of the effect that cash bond has on people's lives. His trial date has been repeatedly postponed. The uncertainty is taking a toll. I don't want another innocent person to plead guilty. Let's stop the generational devastation of cash bond. Please support my client by donating to 401's bail fund.